Welcome to the ATA Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Baird. Each month on the podcast, we bring you news and insights from the American Translators Association. We look at what's happening at ATA, explore the benefits of membership, and discuss the translation and interpreting professions. You know, the T&I industry is changing rapidly. We hope this podcast will help you keep up with it. ATA was founded over 60 years ago to advance the translation and interpreting professions and foster the professional development of individual translators and interpreters. We have nearly 10,000 members in some 100 countries. If you'd like to know more about ATA, we'll have some information for you at the end of the show. You'll also find links in the notes. Today, we're pleased to bring you this year's slate of candidates for the ATA Board of Directors. We will be electing 4 directors this year. For today's show, we asked the candidates to answer 4 questions and gave them 2 minutes to answer each of them. The questions are, number 1, tell us a little about yourself. Where are you based and what kind of translation or interpreting work do you do? 2, when did you join ATA and why? 3, why are you running for ATA office? And finally, 4, what is an area of ATA where you feel you can have the most impact if elected as director? The candidates recorded their answers on their own, and we've chosen to release them in reverse alphabetical order. So without further ado, here are your candidates.
Hello everyone, this is Edna Santiago. I'm based in Los Angeles, California, and I've lived in Southern California for over 25 years. I'm a certified core interpreter with the Judicial Council of California. I'm a seasoned freelance conference and community interpreter and translator. I hold certificates of professional translation and legal interpretation, English into Spanish, from the California State University in Fullerton, and I also have a degree in business administration. As a freelance conference interpreter, I specialize in education, immigration, social and environmental justice, government and policy, community activism, and leadership skills development. I have interpreted for nonprofit, community-based, government, and international organizations and private sector clients, and I'm also a small business owner. In 2010, after I finished my translation and interpreting studies, my former professors and mentors advised me to join a professional association. And so that same year, I joined the ATA and I found my tribe. I became a member of almost all of the divisions of the ATA. I believe I'm a member of more than 5. But in 2016, I became actively involved with the Spanish Language Division, or SPD, by becoming a member of the Digital and Social Media Committee. In 2017, I was appointed chair of that same committee, and that gave me an opportunity to help the SPD maintain and grow their presence in all of the SPD social media channels. And I also added presence on Pinterest, Instagram, and LinkedIn with a profile page. In 2020, I became a candidate for SPD administrator. And that same year, I started my first 2-year term, where I have successfully worked with the SPD Leadership Council to organize, promote, and deliver quality professional development and networking opportunities to the SPD membership. I have also volunteered as a chair of the nominating committee for the Translation Company Division in 2019. And in 2021, I was a volunteer. I volunteered as a member of the nominating committee for the Language and Technology Division, LTD. I firmly believe that I need to give back to an association that has given me so much. And that's why I continue to be active with the ATA. Why am I running for ATA office? As I mentioned, I've been a member of the SPD since 2010, and since then a lot has changed in our profession. We are just coming out of a global pandemic, and technology is rapidly changing the way that we perform our work. Also, as a freelance conference and community interpreter and small business owner, I have witnessed and lived the challenges of our profession. I believe and I want to be a part of a team that will look for solutions for those challenges. I have I believe that my past experience as an office manager has provided me with a solid background in project management, communication, and multitasking, and I think that that skill set and background will prove to be of benefit to the ATA. Furthermore, I'm committed to the professional association and its benefits. I have a commitment to volunteer to an association that has given me so much, and I want to help to promote the ATA benefits, to increase membership, and to be able to communicate those benefits and promote the TI professions to business and other communities. I believe that being a board director means listening to the membership, understanding the budget and finances of the organization, debating and executing proposed ideas, dedicating the time required to have in depth and sometimes difficult conversations, and I also believe that my tenure on the Spanish language division as an administrator has given me the opportunity to work alongside some amazing volunteers and leaders to deliver tangible benefits to our members and to communicate those benefits to our members too. So I think that will be the value added that I can bring to the ATA board. In addition, as a resident of California, I was able to advocate actively for a profession when AB5 put at risk how we do our work as freelancers. And I would love to be able to continue to advocate for our professions at the ATA level because we still are facing challenges with the PRO Act and many other legislations in other states. I also would love to contribute by promoting the many benefits of belonging to a professional association like the ATA to increase its memberships, and also to continue to make the ATA the place where translators and interpreters can go to for professional development opportunities and networking.
Hello, I am Caroline Kyung-ha Kim. I'm a Korean and English translator and interpreter. I'm based in Los Angeles, California. I'm an official federal court interpreter and California certified court interpreter for the Korean language. I have 20 years of experience in Korean simultaneous conference interpreting and translating in the areas of information technology, law, medicine, and business. So I work at the courts and for depositions and sometimes at the doctor's office. I'm also a voiceover talent, translator, and dialect coach for film and television. So I've worked on the set of Alias, Korean voice coaching for Jennifer Garner. And I've also interpreted with sign language interpreters at the BTS concert at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. I first learned about ATA from Professor Charles Kim in his class at University of California, Los Angeles Legal Interpreting Program when I was studying for the Legal Interpreting and Translation Korean English certificate. He said how some renowned interpreters have on their business card that they are a member of ATA and that ATA is very respected by the interpreting community and by the general public. In 2002, I joined ATA and I passed the Korean language court interpreter exam in 2002. When I first joined ATA, I learned so much from the sessions at the conferences from the instructors and mentors who shared their knowledge of translation, interpreting, business, and voiceover. Since then, I've been a conscientious ATA member attending 11 in-person annual conferences across the United States and 2 virtual ATA annual conferences. I even presented a session on interpreting the nuances of idioms and proverbs at the 2012 ATA Annual Conference. I've enjoyed being the Assistant Administrator of ATA's Korean Language Division for 3 years, where recently we've been working hard to increase membership by sending notifications and encouraging participation in our listserv and meetings. I've encouraged collaboration with other ATA divisions and the ATA headquarters. I've also served on KLD's Leadership Council and Conference Committee. I have developed through ATA lasting friendships and collaborations until today. I've had all sorts of varied and interesting experiences over the years, but these opportunities would never have come my way without the experience I gained as an interpreter and ATA. In the spirit of service and many mentors who volunteer their valuable time over the years, I think it is my turn to step up to the plate. I sincerely appreciate the ATA members who take turns volunteering for ATA and give up their time to share with the translation community. One of the reasons I especially enjoy ATA is because it gives me the opportunity to experience the diversity of our profession. I've learned so much from interactions, the mentoring, and relationships gained from divisions, communications, and listservs. And I'm still learning from them. My career has benefited tremendously from ATA membership, and I'm looking forward to helping others get the same benefits. If elected, I'll work to promote the value and reputation of translators and interpreters to ensure that the work of language professionals is appreciated by the public. I'll reimagine the referral program so that ATA will be the go-to source for anyone in the U.S. who needs a translator or interpreter. I'd work for expanding publicity for ATA. I'll keep you updated on language access, professional standards, working conditions, and advocate for your voice to be heard by ATA. To increase ATA membership, I'll reach out to former ATA members to listen for guidance and then encourage them to become lifelong members. I'll enhance support systems such as ATA's mentor program, the Buddies Welcome Newbie session at ATA's annual conference, and expand networking opportunities in person and virtually. ATA, through the headquarters and distinct amazing divisions, have remote networking and webinars where you could connect with interpreters across the states and all over the world. I would love to see that kind of collaboration continue and strengthen. See you all at the next ATA conference in LA.
Hello, I'm Hiroko Ransom. I'm based in Belton, Texas, which is about an hour drive from Austin, Texas. I'm an ATA certified English to Japanese translator with 27 years of experience, published author of 2 ESL books in Japan. I also taught Japanese language at a university in the US, started a YouTube channel related to translation, which now has about 3,800 subscribers, and I'm a founder and teacher of an online translation course, and I also started consecutive interpreting last year. I was originally born and grew up in Hokkaido, Japan, received a BA in English Literature from Tsuda University in Tokyo, and Master of Education from University of Texas at Austin. My original plan was to be a Japanese language teacher at a university, but a colleague gave me a job offer to translate press release articles every day for 2 years, and that's when I decided that I wanted to become a freelance translator. Since then, I have lived in various places like San Francisco, Fairbanks, Alaska, UK, Japan, and now back in Texas. I believe I joined ATA in 1997 when I was in San Francisco. I also took the certification exam there and passed it. One of my senior colleagues recommended me to join, so I said, why not? I still remember asking another of my senior colleagues, how do you become a popular translator who doesn't have to worry about getting projects? What's the secret? And he said, that's easy. Get certified. Once you get certified, you'll never have to look for projects yourself. So I decided to give it a try, and he was right. I'm eternally grateful for this credential. I was honored to be nominated, which made me think that this will be a great opportunity to discuss how we can continue to strive as translators or interpreters. The world is rapidly changing on the same level as the Industrial Revolution, so we need to present ourselves differently. I used to think that translators and interpreters should be quiet and not visible, but with the advancement of AI and so many people are not even aware of what kind of contribution we make as linguists, I feel we need to let our voices be heard and stand up for ourselves. I've been making YouTube videos in order to help those who want to become translators and also to educate people about our work. I've also been hosting seminars on how to become a translator with the help of members from the Japanese language division, and we have been successful at recruiting new members. I believe there are so many things we can do to make sure we're recognized and appreciated so that our industry can continue to thrive. I feel I can contribute to outreach, recruitment, educational programs, video tutorials, and social media. Using my experience as a YouTuber and an instructor, I can encourage younger generations to consider becoming professional translators. We can look forward to great future together as linguists.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this podcast and allowing me to introduce myself. My name is Ben Carl. I am a ATA certified French to English and Chinese to English translator and English copywriter based in Long Beach, California. I've lived in the SoCal area for about 3 years, and I've been translating since 2011. I specialize primarily in high-value corporate and marketing communications, and I also have a specialization in UX UI. I joined ATA in 2016, about 3 years after I started my freelance translation practice in 2013, and really my biggest regret is that I didn't join ATA sooner. I had been a member of NITA, which is the ATA affiliate in Nevada, and I'd gotten involved, and I was really craving community and engagement and networking opportunities, and I wasn't finding them really in my local area just because it's, it was pretty small and fairly remote. And, I didn't work in language pairs that were represented locally. And so the ATA conference that year was in San Francisco. And so I jumped at the opportunity to join and to attend. And I've been hooked ever since. I am a big professional association evangelist. I really, really believe in the power of professional associations and community and camaraderie and fellowship, and I'm really passionate about sharing that with current and future members of the American Translators Association. I am running this year to serve my first full term as a board member of the American Translators Association. Last year I ran for treasurer, and I did not win. I was running against a very strong candidate, two-time incumbent who's doing a fantastic job, and so I bowed to the superior candidate, but I was very, very lucky to be asked by the board to fill a vacancy. So for the past year, I've been serving on the board and have really been enjoying my work. And so I am running for ATA office to continue that work and to be able to, have a 3-year plan as a director to continue to do what I've already been doing, which includes chairing the advocacy committee, being a very active member of the membership committee, being the membership committee liaison to the Government Linguist Outreach Task Force, and just working on a lot of really interesting and engaging projects that I'm really passionate about to really serve our members better and move the profession forward. There are 2 areas where I feel that I could have a really big impact if I were reelected as director this year. The first is in the collaborative and coalition building arena that we've been talking about a lot on the board and within the association as a whole. I think a lot of committees and divisions and chapters have been maybe a little too siloed in the past, and we're working really hard to bring people together and to work better together towards common goals instead of kind of duplicating each other's work or reinventing the wheel. And so I really consider myself a team builder and a coalition builder, and I'm really excited that we are becoming more collaborative as an association. The other area is in my experience as a content writer and content strategist, I feel that ATA has had really more of an inward and member-focused communication strategy in the past, and it would really serve us well to kind of shift our focus to being more outward-facing and speak with authority in our, not just in our market, but in the translation and interpretation industry as a whole. We have just such incredible expertise that we should be sharing more. And I'm really looking forward to not just working with the advocacy committee and the PR committee, but with our members at large, even if I'm not elected, to bring that goal to fruition.
Hello, everyone. My name is Christina Green, and I am a translator, an interpreter, and a small business owner based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the heart of the Midwest. I was born in Italy and grew up in Venezuela. I come from a very diverse family. My father is Italian, my mother is Egyptian, and we spoke several languages since very early age. I was exposed to multiculturalism and different languages and different countries. And that, of course, made the choice for university very clear, at least to my family. I was to pursue a degree in modern languages. But I'm quite feisty, so I wanted to become an attorney. Luckily, I listened to my mom, which is not usually the case at that age. And I got a degree in modern languages, English and French, in translation and interpretation. And then I went on to study advanced linguistics. And I came to the United States in the year 2000, where I got married and lived in this area ever since. I am currently the president of the Midwest Association of Translators and Interpreters, and the assistant administrator of the Interpreters Division. What else can I tell you about me? I'm very sociable, and there are a few things I like more than cats and chocolates. So that's about it. I probably should stay away from the chocolates, but not from cats. So that's it. I joined ATA in the year 2000, right after I arrived. I always wanted to be part of a professional organization or professional association of my peers. Coming from Venezuela, we had a very strong and solid association, professional association, but I wanted to be part of one in which trends were discussed, in which change was being made, in which professionals who thought like me, walked like me, breathed like me, belonged. And unfortunately, in South America, at the time I graduated in the late 80s, a career like mine, like modern languages, would guarantee you a very good job as a bilingual secretary. And one thing I knew, and it was that I didn't want to do that. I wanted to become an interpreter, a professional one, and a professional translator. And maybe, I dreamt of going to the United Nations and working there and interpreting for presidents and doing a lot of other stuff. So being part of ATA made it possible for me to understand a lot of things, to understand the market in the country, to understand how I could make a difference, to understand what was it that, other people were doing, how the universities operated, the same career that I studied abroad, I was able to get acquainted with the legal system. So all that ATA offered me. And then, of course, a lot of other things, especially great friends that I keep to this day. So the reason I am running for the board is First and foremost, I'm extremely passionate about our profession. I, through the years, whether at the Midwest Association of Translators and Interpreters, where I have served several terms as president, or in my work with the board, having served 2 one-year terms to replace members that were either moving to a different position or moving out of the board, has given me enough experience and have shown me that I do have the leadership skills and the interpersonal skills in order to be able to affect change. I believe in communications. I believe that I have very strong analytical skills and that I bring to the table very good ideas. I am relentless and I can be a little bit stubborn at times. I'm going to call it driven. Nicer word. I am very adaptable and flexible, and I do believe that I have very good personality. So I think that those are very important qualities, and I think that I feel like I have a job to do. I feel like this is the time that I can go in and, take my involvement with the association to a different level. Because I have been always involved with the association in one way or the other. I have always volunteered. I have always helped, and I actually volunteer in my community for non-for-profits, where English speakers struggle and those who don't speak English have a very hard time, having their voice heard. So that is what I want to do, having our voice heard. If elected director, there are a few ideas that I would like to bring forward. One of them is trying to put ATA in a more visually appealing position, in a more prominent position, in which our external customer is able to find us more easily, understands better what we do, and is able to buy our services more easily. Those who know me have heard me talk once and again about the importance of branding. And I think that we have, there is a lot of room for improvement in that area. By improving our branding, we are not only going to attract this external customer I mentioned before, but we are also going to attract the internal customer that has been bleeding out since the advent of the pandemic. So I think that this is a dual thing. And I also think that we need to look very closely at the changes that the pandemic brought forward. I don't think we have been paying enough attention. And what has been happening in terms of technology, what has been happening in terms of fair pay, what is our position within the workforce, how can we improve that? And although there are committees within ATA who fight every day for that, I would like to bring my ideas and join the fight as well. And I think I can be very effective at doing that. So it's branding, attracting external customer, and making it easier for our internal customer to make a decent living without having to struggle so much. So those are that's a gist of what I think.
Hi, my name is Celine Browning. Thank you so much for having me on this interview. I'm running for the position of director again this year after my first run, which was last year. A little bit about myself. Last year, I was just finishing up my 5-year run in the Japanese Language Division Administration while being a full-time freelance interpreter. This year, however, things have changed for me, and I'm a full-time in-house diplomatic interpreter with the Office of Language Services at the Department of State. When did I join ATA? It was in October of 2012, actually, when I was just starting my first year at the Middlebury Institute of International Studies at Monterey, and the conference happened to be held in San Diego. Coincidentally, this is my 10th anniversary as a member, and I am actually quite majorly proud to admit that I've attended all but one the San Antonio conference since then. Why I joined was extremely simple. I was addicted and enthralled by the energy that you feel from the conference, surrounded by all of these colleagues who do exactly what you do. You aren't the odd one out for a change, and you can actually be proud to be a nerd. I loved it. I'm running again for office this year, firstly because I had the honor of being nominated again. Even to cross the mind of someone as worthy of running is a tremendous honor for me. ATA has been my home away from home for so long that truly it would be a delightful position to hold, and a small way to give back to our ATA family. I'm also running because I would like to get to know the body better, know the inner workings, and eventually be able to add meaningful and lasting contributions to our wonderful community. If elected, I think I could be most effective in areas relating to outreach, and this would be on a personal level as an independent voice and not one representing my office or my job, as well as helping colleagues who are in any stage of transition in their career. I have gone from a freshly graduated student to a freelancer and then to a civil servant, all in the language service field. I feel like I know a little something about that, and it certainly can feel overwhelming and impossible at times. One committee I would like to serve on again after having to withdraw from committees this year due to a chain of family deaths is the Honors and Awards Committee. I was awarded the Rising Star Award last year, which also came as a surprise. Being able to see, find, recognize other colleagues in the many areas of awards we provide would be an exciting and rewarding experience for me. Thank you so much. I look forward to receiving your vote.
Hi, my name is Andy Benzo. I am an ATA certified translator from English to Spanish. I hope we have met before in some of the presentations I have given over the years at ATA and many other places. If we haven't met, let me introduce myself. I am originally from Argentina, where I earned a degree in law and another degree in translation. And I worked in both fields for many years before coming to the United States. I got married and moved to the United States in 1999, just before the change of the century. You know, new century, new country, new life. I happily live in San Diego since I came, and I had the opportunity to teach legal and business translation courses and also simultaneous and consecutive interpretation courses in the certificate program that is at the University of California, San Diego Extension. I did that for 6 years. I feel very fortunate to be able to merge my two passions, which are law and translation, into a career as a freelance legal translator. Right now, I am the assistant administrator for the Spanish division and the host of the SPD podcast, Charlas de Café. So, if you speak Spanish, please go and listen to the podcasts that are very interesting because we have phenomenal guests. I have always been a part of a professional community. I cannot even imagine not belonging to a professional association. In Argentina, when you get your degree in any field, you join the professional association. It's a must. So back then, I belonged to two professional associations, El Colegio de Traductores and the Bar. Therefore, finding an association of translators was a must for me. So as soon as I came to the States in 1999, I joined the ATA. A professional association is the place where you nurture your knowledge, but also fellowship. I became a part of the ATA community because this is the place where I meet my peers and keep learning and growing in the profession. There is no other place like the ATA in the United States. And the people who form the ATA are fantastic. Not only my fellow colleagues who are so willing to share, but also headquarters. Mooch, Adrian, Jeff, Jamie, Mary, Teresa, to name a few, they support us and keep the association running. Some people ask me, why are you a member of the ATA? And I want to ask them, why aren't you? What else do you meet your peers or learn tricks of the trade? Besides the education and networking, I have met my best friends in the ATA. Going to the ATA conference is like a yearly family reunion. You meet your translation family year after year. And we share the changes and transformations that we all go through as life evolves, not only professionally, but personally. They become part of your life. And that is a phenomenal feeling. I want to help and contribute my knowledge and experience to the board. I believe this is the best profession ever. I will share my experience as a legal professional, not only from my law degree from Argentina, but also from my paralegal degree in Cal State San Marcos. That would be helpful in the context of governance, bylaws, and any other related issues that may come before the board. I have been a freelance legal translator for more than 30 years. I know I started very, very, very young. I'm a firm believer that we have strength in numbers. We need to make this association essential to translators and interpreters. I want to pay it forward. I have received so much from the ATA in terms of knowledge, friends, contacts, and work referrals that I could never repay directly. When I was teaching courses at the university, I saw that there was no local organization to help my students transition into the profession. So I was one of the founders of the Association of Translators and Interpreters in the San Diego area. We built an organization that hosted regional seminars for translators and eventually became the host for the ATA 2012 conference in San Diego. I believe that volunteer service in any capacity, in any community or organization, enriches your life and touches others. One of my favorite quotes is from Muhammad Ali, and he said, "Service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth." I feel I can have the most impact on membership. I'm a very social and extrovert person, and in case you didn't pick up on it, I'm a huge fan of the ATA, and I want every translator in the US to become a member. When we talk about networking, it's not only meeting companies, but fundamentally meeting colleagues and expanding your circle of peers that will help you in your work. For example, I specialize in legal, but sometimes it may have a bit of medical or financial or another area that I'm not familiar with in a legal document. So when that happens, I call one of my friends who specialize in that particular field and ask them questions. Although we work independently, no translator is an island. We cannot work in isolation. We need each other. Another of my interests is professional development. We need to go back to our roots. We need more translation skills-based webinars. These will entice university students and graduates to join. It also will be a value proposition for newcomers and seasoned translators and interpreters alike. Although membership and professional development are my two main areas of interest, I will be happy to work in any field where my passion and enthusiasm can be of service. I'm very happy to work to advance our profession as translators and interpreters, and of course, to promote our association. Please feel free to connect with me if you have any ideas or questions or just to chat. Thank you for your consideration, and I will happily welcome your vote.
Hello, I'm Esmail Kashif. I'm a certified Arabic English translator originally from Cairo, Egypt. I was a translator and a conference interpreter in Egypt and the Middle East until my family moved to the US. I'm now based in Oregon, where I am a certified court interpreter and a conference interpreter. I also work in translation and localization. I have a master's degree in translation studies and a PhD in interpreting studies. I taught translation at Ain Shams University and in the American University in Cairo. I now teach interpreting as an adjunct instructor at New York University's master's degree in translation and interpreting, and also at the University of Massachusetts Amherst online certificate in translation and interpreting. I've always had a passion for languages. I started working at small translation firms when I was only 19. I fell in love with this profession ever since. This amazing profession has opened my eyes to the world and has taken me to so many places. I'm also a mother of 2 kids, a 9 soon-to-be 10-year-old girl, and a 4-year-old boy. I first joined the ATA in 2013, but then had to leave the US for a couple of years. I rejoined in 2015 as soon as my family moved to Oregon. Why I joined the ATA? Well, I have been working in the translation and interpreting industry all my professional life. As soon as I moved, I was looking for a way to access the US market. The first thought I had was to join the ATA. So I became a member, and I took the certification exam as soon as I found an opportunity to do that. And I passed. Very soon after that, I realized I was right. Being on the ATA roster of certified translators has opened many doors for me and brought me so many clients, not just from inside the US, but from all around the world. I'm running because I think I can bring value to the table. I volunteer in various capacities within the ATA. I have worked alongside many colleagues and I have learned a lot from all of them. For example, I am a member of the Interpreters Division Leadership Council, where I help organize the Interpreters Connections, which is an informal event where interpreters get together and discuss topics of interest. I'm also the Assistant Administrator of the Arabic Division, and together with my colleagues in the ALD Leadership Council, we support Arabic translators and interpreters in various ways. For example, when we realized how scarce training material is for Arabic interpreters, we decided to do something out of the box and we launched a competition in which interpreters can collaborate to build training material. I'm also a member of the ATA Professional Development Committee. I'm so grateful to all our colleagues who contributed to our profession through their volunteer work on the ATA board and in the different ATA committees and divisions. I believe now is my turn to carry some of that burden and work for the betterment of all of us. I'm also aware that some languages enjoy a more prominent position on the board, while voices representing other languages are not always there. As a professional working with one of those less prevalent languages, I would like to make my voice heard. I believe I'm equipped to have an impact as a director in a number of ways. I have a diverse background, having worked in the Middle East and in the US, and in different places within both markets. I also have my academic background as well as years of hands-on experience. I believe I can leverage all this experience to help the ATA board. I can bring new insights into board discussions and board decision-making. For example, this diverse background offers me a good understanding of translators' and interpreters' needs at the different stages of their careers and in different specializations. I'm sure I can add value to the ATA efforts for members' professional development and also in building resources and so on. I'm also an organized person and a very good listener. I'm good at problem solving and planning ahead. All these are skills that I would gladly put in use for our organization. I would like to see the ATA as an organization and as a community of practice ready for the challenges of the future. And these include the laws that will affect the livelihood of freelancers, our outreach activities, improving our members' visibility, as well as embracing technology while continuing to be indispensable to our clients. Finally, I would like to say I would be honored to serve on the ATA board, and I would like to thank you for this opportunity to speak here.
All right, that's a wrap. I'd like to thank everyone who helped produce the show today. Derek Platts mixed and edited the audio, and Mary David and Rashawn Paccarel at ATA headquarters provided editorial and technical support. If you learned anything new in today's podcast, I bet there's someone out there who would like to know it too. Don't be stingy. Tell them about the podcast. I've gotten to know so many great podcasts that way. I promise they'll thank you for it. And if you're not an ATA member, listen up. I've been a member for over 20 years. Joining ATA literally launched my freelance career, and I've never looked back. Nowadays, the demand for translators and interpreters is at an all-time high, but finding quality work isn't easy. ATA membership can make the difference. And ATA isn't just for translators and interpreters. Individuals, companies, and organizations can join. We have teachers and professors, hospital administrators, language company owners, technology developers, as well as language companies, universities, hospitals, and government agencies. If you'd like to know more, go to ATA's website, atanet.org. You can also check out past episodes of this podcast where we talk about the benefits of membership and what's currently happening in the association. Thanks again for listening, everyone. Talk to you again soon.